2 years ago, a simple cleaning cart stood between a hotel cleaner and a guest seething with impatience. "Move it," he barked, his voice echoing in the polished hallway. The cleaner, startled, fumbled with her supplies. "I'm sorry, sir, just a moment," she stammered. He scoffed, his eyes filled with disdain. "A moment? Do you know who I am? People like you should be invisible." He kicked the cart, sending bottles of cleaning solution clattering across the floor. Humiliation burned her cheeks as he stormed past, leaving her to clean up the mess and her shattered dignity. She was just a cleaner, a nobody in his world. But in that moment, staring at the spilled chemicals, something inside her shifted. This wasn't just a spill to clean up. It was a line that had been crossed. She knelt, her hands trembling as she picked up the bottles. Each one felt heavy, not with liquid, but with the weight of his contempt. The laughter of other guests passing by felt like tiny daggers. She was invisible, just as he'd said. Her name was Maria, but to him, she was just an obstacle. That night, she couldn't sleep. His words, "people like you," replayed in her mind. What did that even mean? People who worked hard, people who tried to do their jobs with quiet dignity. She had come to this country with dreams, not to be a cleaner forever, but to build a life. She'd been taking online business courses at night, sacrificing sleep and social life, all for a future that felt impossibly distant. The incident was a harsh reminder of how far she still had to go, and how little respect the world had for her journey. The next day, Maria walked into her manager's office. She didn't complain about the guest. She knew it would be her word against the wealthy patrons. Instead, she asked for more hours, any extra shifts she could get. The fire he had lit in her wasn't one of anger, but of farce. Unyielding determination. Every extra dollar was a step away from that hallway, a step toward a world where no one could kick her cart, or her spirit. Again, she saved relentlessly, her social life vanishing completely. Her colleagues noticed the change. The quiet, smiling Maria was replaced by a woman on a mission, her eyes constantly focused on a distant goal. She ate simple meals, wore worn-out shoes, and poured every ounce of her energy into two things: her work and her studies. The memory of his sneer became her fuel. Months turned into a year. Maria completed her business degree. She used her savings, which she had guarded like a dragon's hoard, to make a down payment on a small, run-down motel on the outskirts of the city. It was nothing like the luxurious hotel where she had worked. The paint was peeling, the sign was flickering, and the rooms had a scent of neglect. But to Maria, it was a kingdom. Eat, wash, hairs. She quit her cleaning job, thanking her manager, who looked at her with a mix of surprise and admiration. The first few months were brutal. She was the owner, the receptionist, the cleaner, and the maintenance crew all in one. She worked from dawn until long after midnight, fixing leaky faucets, scrubbing floors, and greeting the few guests who trickled in. She remembered the contempt in that man's eyes, and it pushed her to scrub harder, to smile wider, to make her humble motel a place of warmth and welcome. Slowly, things began to change. Her relentless hard work and genuine care for her guests started to pay off. People left glowing reviews online, not about luxury, but about the heart of the place. They wrote about the clean rooms, the comfortable beds, and the owner who treated everyone like family. "The owner makes you feel at home," one review said. "A hidden gem with a lot of soul." Her motel, which she renamed the Phoenix Inn, began to attract more and more visitors. It became known as a boutique establishment, a place with character. Maria started hiring staff, many of whom were people just like her, individuals looking for a chance, for a respectful place to work. She trained them herself, instilling in them the importance of dignity and kindness. She was building not just a business, but a community. 2 years to the day after her humiliation, a sleek black car pulled up to the Phoenix Inn. A man in an expensive suit stepped out, talking loudly on his phone, clearly annoyed. His usual 5-star hotel was overbooked due to a citywide conference, and this was the only place with a vacancy. He strode to the front desk and slapped his credit card down without making eye contact. "I need your best room. The presidential suite, whatever you call it here," he demanded. The receptionist, a young woman Maria had recently hired, looked at the name on the card and then at a note Maria had left. Her eyes widened slightly. She calmly completed the check-in and handed him the key. "Enjoy your stay, sir," she said with a polite, practiced smile. The man grumbled and headed for the elevator. As he stepped in, he finally looked up and saw a woman standing at the other end of the lobby, watching him. She was dressed in a simple but elegant business suit, her posture radiating a quiet confidence he found vaguely familiar. He couldn't place her. He just shrugged. The doors slid shut, and he was whisked away to his room. The room was immaculate, stylishly decorated with a personal touch. On the desk, there's a handwritten welcome note next to a complimentary bottle of sparkling water. He was surprised by the level of detail. It was far better than he'd expected from a place like this. He unpacked and decided to head down to the lobby bar for a drink before his evening meetings. As he sat at the bar, he saw her again, the woman from the lobby. She was talking to the staff, her expression warm and engaging. He watched, intrigued. There was a power about her, an aura of ownership. She wasn't a guest. He finally realized she must be the owner he'd read about in the reviews. He felt an odd pull to speak to her, perhaps to compliment her on the surprisingly excellent service. He caught her eye and gestured for her to come over. She approached his table with a calm, unreadable expression. "Can I help you?" she asked, her voice even and smooth. It was a voice he'd heard before, but where? "I just wanted to say," he began, a patronizing smile on his face, "this place is surprisingly nice. I'm impressed. You've done well for yourself." Maria looked at him, and for the first time, she let a flicker of recognition show in her eyes. "Thank you," she said. "We believe everyone deserves to be treated with respect and dignity, no matter who they are or what they do." A shadow of confusion crossed his face. Her words felt pointed. "Of course," he said, a little defensively. Then she smiled, a slow, knowing smile. "I'm so glad you're enjoying your stay. In fact, this room, this hotel, it's all thanks to you. You were my inspiration." His brow furrowed. "I don't understand. Have we met before?" Maria's smile didn't waver. "Oh, yes, we have. 2 years ago, you were in a hurry. You kicked my cleaning cart and told me that people like me should be invisible." The man's face went pale. The memory, buried under 2 years of arrogance and self-importance, came rushing back. The hallway, the spilled chemicals, the humiliated look on the cleaner's face. He stared at her, at the successful, confident woman standing before him, and he could see the ghost of the cleaner she once was. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. He was speechless, utterly and completely disarmed. "You see?" Maria continued, her voice still calm, but now with an edge of steel. "You were right about one thing. People like me shouldn't be invisible. We should be seen. We should be respected. And sometimes," she paused, letting the weight of her next words land, "we end up owning the room." She looked at him, no longer with the hurt of a victim, but with the quiet triumph of a survivor. The humiliation he had inflicted on her had been the spark that ignited a fire of ambition he could never comprehend. He sat there, in her hotel, drinking her water, a guest in her world. The power dynamic had not just shifted, it had been completely inverted. He was no longer the man in charge, but a footnote in her success story. She had not sought revenge in a hateful way. She had built an empire on the ashes of his disrespect. Her success was her statement. Maria simply nodded at him, turned, and walked away, leaving him alone with his drink and the crushing weight of his own actions. He was just a guest. She was the owner. He looked around the beautiful lobby, at the happy staff, at the thriving business she had built. He saw what he had tried to crush that day. Not a cleaner, but a dream. And he realized that true power isn't about who you can step on to get ahead, but what you can build when someone tries to knock you down. Maria's story is a powerful reminder that our circumstances don't define us. It's our response to them that shapes our destiny. Your past does not dictate your future. Kindness, hard work, and a belief in yourself can turn moments of humiliation into monuments of success. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more content that celebrates the strength of the human spirit. Remember to share this video with someone who might need to hear it. We'll see you in the next one.